Hey folks, I'm Raven. In today's video, I'm making a Marvel Rivals tier list. Mostly because I couldn't be fucked today. I just don't have the energy. But that doesn't take away from the fact it's going to be a fucking good tier list, because it's my opinion, and everybody knows my opinion is fact. And if you disagree, you're wrong. Before we get started, let's establish what each tier means. S tier, cream of the crop. Best, A tier. They are very strong, they are great components to a team, but maybe they're just not quite good enough to edge it into S tier. B tier, mid. They're just mid. Not necessarily a bad thing. C tier, these are the characters I think need a buff. They are fundamentally flawed in some way and could do with a little bit of help. And then finally, we have the Peni tier. Fuck off Peni mains, don't come for me. She's god-awful, and you will see why when I get to her. And the most redundant placement on this tier list award goes to Venom, with the most obvious S tier in all of gaming. He is exceptional. And I don't mean that in, whoa, he's cool, I mean that in, he's a massive pain in my assholes. He just likes to jump around infinitely with his massive amounts of mobility. He will do lots of damage to your team, he will bully your supports, and then just as you're about to kill him, he smashes that E key. And guess what happens? He jumps up to over 1,000 health and he swings away. Venom is exceptional. Even more annoying when you combine him with a good Hulk player, and the two of them become exceptional and smash your dick in. Next up, Magneto. Maybe not quite as given of an S tier if you don't include his team-up ability, but not including his team-up ability would be dumb because they're a fundamental part of the game. Magneto's team-up with Skull, which granting him the ability to throw swords around at people that do damage to my mental the way Andrew Tate has damaged the mental of the average 12-year-old boy, is insane. It's busted, and they've said they're going to nerf it, which I'm entirely okay with. Beyond just the team up though, because a good team up does not make for an S tier champion alone. He has a shield that can block any amount of damage for a set period of time, and the ability to apply pressure and space in a way Reinhardt could only dream of. We're going to speed up a little bit now because I don't want to be here until I'm 30. Next up on our tier list is Groot. Groot was S tier in the alpha, and they brought him down a little bit. He's still fundamentally incredibly powerful, and I could very easily be convinced to put him in S tier, but I'm gonna be honest, the S tier in this game is stupidly long, so I needed people to be in A tier and B tier a little bit more. So some of the A tiers could very easily move up, but Groot, his walls, exceptional. He doesn't do as much damage as some of the other tanks, but his bomb does a surprising amount of damage. His ultimate can set up some really cool team kills, and his walls, fantastic at controlling battle and just being irritating. Hulk was a fundamentally difficult character to place on this tier list, because I'm gonna be honest, he's kind of like Winston in Overwatch, where he requires a little bit more skill and mind to play than you would think. His damage should be higher, so I do have an issue with him, but on the other hand, my birds won't stop screaming and I want to kill myself. But on the other hand, if you put Hulk with a tank like Venom, they become an insane team. Hulk and Venom together specifically, probably S+ tier. Hulk with certain other tanks, probably A tier. Hulk is a tank that is really hard to nail down because he allows other tanks that dive, and other characters that dive would be a better way to put it, to do their job far better, but is left lacking in terms of rating him as himself in isolation. I have purposefully underrated Thor. I believe he's probably actually closer to A tier, but the community at large, including myself, have not learned to play him yet. He almost has the Black Panther effect, I feel like, where people are going to undervalue him, and then when the game releases and people have played him for a month or so, they'll be like, oh shit, he's actually really good. So yeah, for B tier, but I will not be surprised if upon release, even absent of any buff, he moves up a tier as the community learns to better play him. Look, I know Peni has some real hard fans out there, but she's just not good. She does nothing no other tank does better. She's not as good defensively as Groot. She's not as good offensively as Venom. She can't protect the team as well as Doctor Strange or Magneto. She's not as divey as anybody else. She just isn't good. I get the idea. She's meant to be a trap-based tank that sort of lays out an area and makes it really hard to push. But you just look at the floor and see her big bulb and then shoot it. Or you see her little red mines that often stand out and shoot them them, and the only time I see myself or anybody dying to them is if there's like a meme strategy where like they put it right at the spawn door and everybody runs out into them immediately, which is very funny. This isn't a fun rating tier list because she is fun. She's just not good. Like, mines work if the people you're against are either not paying attention or not good themselves. Against any player that is even of like average skill, they will just not walk into your mines. She does have some strong perks. The ability to immediately stun someone with a skill shot is fine, but there are other tanks and some other characters in the support roster that do the same thing but better. She doesn't do anything, nobody else does better. She isn't very good. Her ultimate is objectively weak. If I'm playing anyone in the game and I see a Peni ult, I'm like, cool. Am I a character on low health right now, so I just go away from her? Or am I just going to shoot her and kill her while she's ulting? Like, she's just weak. Like, you can yell at me in the comments. She's shit. She is the worst character in the game, in my opinion. A few weeks ago, I was speaking to people about how I would rate characters in Marvel Rivals in the Marvel Rivals Discord. Very chill community, by the way. Doctor Strange being placed in S tier was the choice that probably got questioned the most. Out of all of my other characters, there were some that would be like, oh, I'd probably put them in A or I'd move them down to B or whatever. But Doctor Strange in S is the one people were most curious about as an option. And you know what? I get it. If you don't play Doctor Strange, or you haven't played with a good Doctor Strange, you probably don't think much of him. He has a cool portal, that's strong, awesome. Yes. However, Doctor Strange's shield counters so many characters' ultimates. Venom, Magneto, himself, Hela, Spider-Man, Groot, Scarlet Witch, Star-Lord, Thor's, Iron Man's, The Deep, I guess Loki, it depends who he picks. And then we don't talk about Peni because she's awful and you're wrong if you believe otherwise. His shield, insane. You just play basketball, you are the hoop, their ultimate is the ball, and your job is to catch it. Insane. His portal, insane. The ability in a game that is fundamentally a game of push through, choke, capture point. Push through, choke, move cart with you. The ability to say, well, I'm not going to go through this choke. We're just going to appear behind you, or we're going to appear to the right of you, or we're going to appear on high ground is madness. I climbed from the start of rank, which I believe was bronze 1. You start at the top of bronze and then climb up, I believe. I can't fully remember. It's been a couple of weeks. To gold in like 2 hours using Doctor Strange's portal. Because if you are somebody in the 80% of the player base that didn't hit gold, you will win with Doctor Strange more often. Because players aren't organized enough to actively react to his portal. He is fundamentally underrated. Ignoring his shield and portal, he does really good damage. His ultimate is great. Shoot the spirits that come out of them, by the way. You do more damage by shooting those. I didn't realize this for the fucking longest time. I'm dumb. He does a lot of everything really well, and I feel like more people would benefit from playing him. Also, I main him, so I'm a bit biased, but we'll ignore that. Finally, for the tanks or vanguards, we have Captain America. Now, Captain America is the new character, so I believe they're going to be S tier. But generally, after the new character's been out for a while, they're going to get moved around in terms of power. They'll probably settle around A tier. Maybe he'll stay in S tier. His kit is fundamentally very strong. He can reflect most of the ultimates in the game back at the enemy team, and the ability to say no you to an enemy throwing their ultimate at you is always going to be fundamentally powerful. He can sprint, so he has high mobility. He can do soft AoE damage with his shield. He's gonna be very strong. I'm not confident enough to place him anywhere solidly because 99.9999% of the player base has not touched him yet. So yeah, my guess is S on release. Maybe after a nerf he'll settle down to A, but we'll see. Okay, so that is my ranking for the tanks. We have Venom, Magneto, and Doc in S tier, Groot in Captain America with a heavy asterisk in A tier, Hulk and Thor in B tier, but honestly both of those characters could be in A tier, just give it some time. And then Peni in the Peni tier because fuck Peni. Besides that, I was originally going to make this me ranking every character in the game, but the video is almost 10 minutes long already and I prefer to try to keep my videos a little bit shorter. But if you would like to see me do the other heroes in the game, maybe you want to see some more bad takes, let me know. I am happy to do it. Besides that, if you enjoyed, fucking join the Discord. If you are still here and you are not in the Discord, you are fundamentally a confusing person. Join the Discord. Be in our community. This is a command, not a question. Besides that, I love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for watching.